See, next is the facet pattern. Facet you have already studied, no, the definition. What actually the facet pattern provides? It provides an interface between the clients and the subsystems. Subsystems means what? The inside the world, inside your design, inside the system, whatever the number of objects you have, that is called as the inside world, the subsystems. So these subsystems, who is going to provide interface for the outside clients? Facet is the one who is going to provide interface. It acts as a communication media between the clients and the inside world. See this diagram. I have these as the object. Second diagram you can concentrate here. Here I have subsystem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I have a facet. In between, these are the client. These are the client classes. So these clients cannot directly access these objects, access these subsystems. So facet, it will send the request to facet. The facet will receive the request, then provide access to these subunits. So not necessary that all the subunits are given access to all the clients. Whichever the object the client is requesting for, that particular object, the facet will provide access. So facet acts as the interface between the outside world, that is between the clients and the inside world subsystems. See the diagram 1. See, there is no facet interface at all. Directly all the clients are trying to access all the subsystems. That means your circuit becomes more complex. So to avoid the complexity, we go for a pattern called facet. So what actually the intent here? How many sections we have in facet pattern? I have section 1 intent, section 2 motivation, then section 3 applicability, section 4 structure. I have section 5 participants, section 6 collaborations, section 7 consequences, 8 sample code, 9 implementation, 10 known users, 11 related patterns. 11 sections we are supposed to read. Fine. So coming to the intent, what is the problem to be solved here? The facet provides a unified interface to set up the interfaces in a subsystem. So here these are the subsystems what I have. For this is going to provide an interface for the clients. So facet defines a higher level interface that makes the subsystem easier to use. So this provides the user can easily understand how to interact with subsystem with the help of the facet. Right? So coming to motivation, what actually the motivation to be given here? Structuring a system into subsystems helps reduce complexity. Why is it what actually motivated you to go for facet here? In order to reduce the complexity. Here in the circuit one it is more complex. Because directly, see, all are trying to access all subunits, whether it is useful or not. Fine. So that can be overcome using facet. So a common design goal is to minimize the communication and dependencies between the subsystems. So it minimizes the communication compared to this number of interaction is less here in the diagram 2. So it minimizes communication as well as the dependencies between the subsystems. So one way to achieve this goal is to introduce a facet object that provides a single simplified interface to the more general facilities of a subsystem. So this is facet is a single component, single interface. It provides it provides access for these clients to the subsystem. It acts as a communication media between the outside world and the inside world. So this subsystem contains classes such as, see, I have taken an example of a compiler. Compiler is a facet. Here compiler acts as a facet you can take. I have taken the subunits of this compiler as scanner, I have taken parser, I have taken program node, bytecode stream. All these are the subunits, subsystems under the compiler. Let us understand what actually it does. To provide a higher level interface that can shield clients from these classes, the compiler subsystem also includes a compiler class. So this is a compiler class I have. This class defines a unified interface to the compiler's functionality. So all these are the subunits. How is that functionality take place? Let us understand. So the compiler class acts as a facet. This is a facet now. I have taken compiler as an example of a facet. So it offers clients a simple interface to the compiler subsystem. How is that it will? The client can communicate with these subunits. What are the scanners, parser, program node builder? All these are the subunits. So outside world I have client classes. Those clients can access these subunits with the help of via the compiler. Fine. So let us see what actually each of these subunit does. See here compiler is a main class you can take. It is inherited into 4 subclasses. What are the scanner, parser, program node builder and code generator. Fine. What actually the scanner is? Scanner is used to scan the input given by the clients. Parser. What actually parser does? You assume that there is a large set of data. Now I want to divide that large set of data into small elements. Then I will go for a parser. What is program node builder? Program node builder will build a program node. That means what? You have a number of clients. Okay. For each of the clients, I need to specify. For each client, they have separate set of code to be run. Fine. For that, I need to give an ID. For that I have program node builder which builds the node name. Fine. Here scanner. If I have a different set of jobs to be run, so I will put it in a queue. For that I have to give a token number. Again, I have to give a symbol for each of these token and the program node what you have generated. So these will these three will run together. These are going to be subdivided. Fine. Coming back to the code generator. Code generator means what for the given job you are going to write a code. Say for example, here we are going for assembly language, you assume. So I have a stack machine code generator as a children class and another children class as a code generator. I think in microprocessor you would have studied microprocessor or microcontroller when you were in 4th semester. This processor, CISC processor, all that you would have studied. Just an example here, not necessary to go in depth. So I have a processor, a RISC processor where I have written some assembly language code using this code generator. Fine. I have a stack machine code generator. What actually the stack pointer does? Stack pointer means what? It will hold the data and with the instruction is going to be executed. Fine. So this has the necessary information about the data set. Likewise, you can go for any number of subclasses under code generator. So this code generator will perform the whatever the code you want to execute. No, that is generated with the help of these children class. So now once you perform this, what is it? It will create an instant to which one? Bytecode stream. Now I will convert this code, whatever you have generated now, that is converted in the form of bytes. Now finally, the stream of codes is going to be executed. So stream is inherited as bytecode stream, whereas bytecode stream is performed by the code generator, whereas code generator is done by two children classes. So coming back to program node, how is it you are identifying the different types now? I am giving a statement node as a one children class. I have given expression node and I have given a variable node. This you can write according to your wish, not necessary to write the same class, same children class name. You can write any of your own name.